basketball.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
talk
seriously.
about basketball.
Yeah.
Come on now.
What do you think of just how you all were able to pull away in the second half, Caitlin, in particular?
We're going to the Commissioner Cup Championship.
Let's
That's
go!
pretty exciting. Y'all want to talk about that?
They thought no one would notice, but Caitlin Clark's face said everything before the MIC even turned on. After a heated tangle with Marina Mabrey, a reporter decided to poke the bear. And Caitlin did not come to play nice. Eyebrows raised, sarcasm locked and loaded, and the stare sharper than any three-pointer she's ever hit. Now fans are analyzing every blink like it's a Zapruder film. Was it shade? Was it rage? Or just pure, unfiltered WNBA spice?
Caitlin, when your head coach came out with a statement today saying she denounces all the racism that some people have felt in this league, players, trolls online, all those things, as one of the biggest stars in this league, what are your thoughts on the things not only your teammates have to endure, but just the entire league, and obviously you've spoken this before, but just your coach and the team we're talking about as well?
Yeah, it's definitely upsetting. I don't think nobody in our league should be facing any sort of racism, hurtful, disrespectful, hateful comments and threats. Those aren't fans, those are trolls, and it's a real disservice.
The reporter barely finished the question before Caitlin Clark's eyebrows had already launched into orbit. Not the curious kind of eyebrow raise, not the surprised kind. No, this was the "I can't believe you're actually going there again" kind. The kind that says, really? We're still on this? If eye rolls were a sport, Clark would have logged a triple-double by now.
Caitlin Clark, please leave this league and let it crumble. Please, this league does not deserve you. All this hate from these black people, all this hate from these lesbians, these people in the media, just go play basketball somewhere else. Your fans will follow you. We will follow you wherever you go. But let this shit crumble and burn to the fucking ground, man. Let the viewership drop below 50%. Let them lose hundreds of millions of dollars again, man. Let them go back into fucking irrelevancy. Nobody giving a damn about none of these players. Just leave.
Because of course, they didn't ask about the points she dropped, the clean passes, the actual game. No, they reached straight into the grab bag of lazy journalism and yanked out the same overcooked narrative. Heated moment. Marina Mabrey. League targeting you. Rinse, recycle, repeat. At this point, Caitlin's got to feel like she's trapped in a poorly written soap opera where every episode ends with her villainized for existing too loudly.
This is a public announcement. I need everybody to stop what they're doing and listen up. As we watch the WNBA every day because of the way they play the game, because I love the WNBA, I love the way they play the game. But we really watch it because Caitlin Clark and everybody watch. Now listen, if I keep bumping her, knocking her down, might get her a concussion, you might hurt her for real. For 2 weeks, she was done with like a hamstring. She was down. 55% of the viewership was down. She comes back the next game, it's about 3 million viewers. Now let me tell you something. Growing up in the hood, they teach you this. Always protect the money. Y'all keep hurting her and all that. She's going for a year or two. Ain't nobody gonna watch it. If nobody watches, how y'all gonna make and generate?
Her face didn't even hide it. There was no poker game here. Her jaw tightened. Her eyes squinted just a hair. And there it was, the look you give when your patience just clocked out 5 minutes ago without notice. She wasn't angry. She was exhausted. Exhausted from the predictable headlines, from being the sacrificial lamb of viral sound bites. She could cure athlete's foot, and someone would still ask her if she's mad at the fungus.
Oh, she brings everyone in. Like, literally, she goes to the indoor volleyball team in Indianapolis, and, of course, the cameras are on her and the big screen, and she's doing pictures with the team, and people want to be around it because she's there. I'm a little surprised that they haven't. She did have part of the ownership group of a Cincinnati franchise. The NWSL went with Denver. But to me, if I'm a league, I get Caitlin Clark involved in a ownership, part ownership, some kind of thing, any women's sports thing. You've got a magnet here, that attention magnet, the likes of which we have never seen in women's sports.
Because apparently nothing Caitlin does can ever just be basketball. It's always got to be cloaked in drama, controversy, or some kind of made-for-TV melodrama. Score 30. Cool. But what did she say after that screen? Hit a clutch shot. Nice. But let's replay her side-eye during the inbound. The media treats her post-game interviews like an episode of CSI, WNBA, zooming into facial expressions like they're decoding the Da Vinci Code of beef. And don't even get started on the way they try to paint the whole league like it's got a dartboard with her face on it. Caitlin can't so much as adjust her headband without someone, somewhere spinning it into an anti-Clark conspiracy. Look at the ref. He blinked twice, clearly a signal to sabotage. They act like there's a secret society meeting in a candlelit locker room where everyone plots to trip her during warm-ups and steal her Gatorade. But you know what really fries the brain? These same reporters will act shocked, when she looks fed up, as if anyone would be thrilled to sit through a press conference designed to spin your literal breathing into backlash. They come in with notepads sharpened like daggers, not to celebrate but to interrogate. No wonder her answers are clipped and her smile duct taped to her teeth. She's not being rude. She's surviving a pop quiz on emotional endurance.
Caitlin Clark, and I put this analogy in there. She's a player that you have to guard 94 feet. She can shoot. There's no question. Probably one of the best girls shooters I've seen in a minute. But what else can she do? Think about it. You know, and I'm trying to get you guys to understand this. Her passing capability of averaging nine assists per game. She's capable of doing that because the game is stretched so far for her. It's wide open. It have to be. You have to play. America. You have to play up. I've never seen anything like it. She creates havoc for defenses because you got to play.
She could deliver a flawless performance and still be asked if she's too competitive, too cold, too aggressive. They dissect her personality like it's a failed science experiment. Smile too little, ice queen. Smile too much, fake. Speak up, diva. Say nothing, standoffish. It's like she's trapped in a weird game of media bingo where every square is labeled something negative we can spin today, and the irony, half the league is doing backflips trying to stay relevant. But Clark so much as stretches her ankle and it's headline news. Yet when she's done nothing wrong, they still squint hard enough to invent wrongdoing. It's as if peace and competence don't trend unless you're paired with a villain arc. And guess what? They've made Caitlin that villain, unwillingly, hilariously, but relentlessly. The whole everyone's against you narrative isn't even her style. But the media slaps it on her like it's her Instagram bio, because it's easier to sell paranoia than progress. They keep tossing her into this tired trope of the isolated superstar battling a league full of silent haters, like she's not playing team ball, like she's in a Marvel movie and the entire roster is Thanos.
Caitlin Clark is essential. The Caitlin Clarks, the Michael Jordans, the Christian Pulisic saying, I'm not going to go and play. It is essential to American sports, these disruptive figures who just don't owe us either toe the company line, for the GM, it drives us crazy. Dissent drives us crazy. But Caitlin Clark is basically saying, yeah, I'm going to score.
And while they're busy pushing that tired agenda, they're missing the bigger story. She's clearly tired of the noise. It's in her posture. It's in the way she exhales before answering. She's not just dodging questions, she's dodging landmines dressed up as journalism. There's a difference between tough reporting and baiting someone into a meltdown, and some of these post-game interrogations look like emotional ambushes with better lighting. Here's a wild idea. Ask her about how she's adjusting. Ask her what clicked in the third quarter. Ask her why her court vision is sharper than half the analytics team. But no, let's skip the basketball and go straight to the drama. Because apparently, we've all decided Clark is the main character in a league-wide Shakespearean feud. And it's not like she can dodge it. If she claps back, she's out of control. If she stays silent, she's too calculated. The same people obsessed with her reactions are the ones who manufactured the pressure cooker in the first place. It's like poking a bear with a stick and then writing 1,000 words on how the bear seems edgy. Even more baffling, they act like she's oblivious to the media circus, as if she doesn't own a phone or a brain, or both. Please. She knows the narrative. She knows when a question is a question and when it's just a trap wrapped in passive aggression. To this point, she could write the articles herself. Clark disrespects mascot with cold glare after timeout. And they'd still publish it.
Merchandise sales for the WNBA have reportedly increased by 500% since her arrival, with Clark merchandise leading the way. Her games have drawn millions of viewers. We've talked about that before. The Indiana Fever's franchise value has reportedly quadrupled due to Clark's presence. Indianapolis has seen an increase in hotel bookings, tourism related to Fever games, and Clark's popularity. Some projections suggest Clark's presence could help the WNBA generate nearly $1 billion in revenue in 2025.
But the most hilarious part, the absolute most, is that these same people will call her a media darling and then proceed to treat her like a pinata in every press conference, smiling while swinging the stick and then gasping when she doesn't explode into rainbows and sound bites. She's supposed to be grateful. She's supposed to be charmed by the relentless microanalysis of her daily existence. They want her fiery on the court, but demure at the MIC, lead the league, but stay humble. Be fierce, but not too fierce. Be vocal, but not about the wrong things. They want the highlights, but none of the human, which is hilarious, considering she's one of the most human players out there, expressive, intense, unapologetically competitive. But no, keep asking about the incident, the look, the tension. Maybe next time she sneezes, someone can Photoshop Marina Mabry into the background and call it round 2. Because clearly nothing else matters. Not growth, not adaptation, not skill, just facial expressions and fictional vendettas. If Caitlin Clark had the time, she'd probably write her own headline, "Player annoyed by repetitive questions." Media responds with more repetitive questions. Subheadline, "No one's surprised." So the next time she sighs before answering, just know it's not arrogance. It's not disrespect. It's not conspiracy fatigue. It's the exhaustion of being the most overanalyzed face in a league that pretends it's just asking normal questions. You want to know what's really heated? Her patience. And trust me, it's playing defense better than half the league.
Right. Now, the guy brought up, she was poked in the eye, hit in the face. But Monica absolutely ignores that, right? And has nothing negative to say about Marina Mabry shoving Caitlin Clark over. Says it's a part of competition. What is competitive about that? What is competitive about somebody blindsiding somebody and shoving them? Now, mind you, she also didn't even acknowledge that Sheldon actually walked, after poking Caitlin in the eye, she walks up to her and like bumps her chest on Caitlin, which is why Caitlin shoved Sheldon off of her.
And just when you thought the reporter might switch gears, might pivot ever so slightly into, oh, I don't know, basketball, he hits Caitlin Clark with another angle about that so-called heated moment. Not a single nod to defensive schemes. Not one question about rotations. Nothing about the clutch adjustments her team made down the stretch. No, because clearly actual basketball isn't spicy enough. What the people really want, apparently, is tabloid-tier drama disguised as post-game analysis. Not once in that whole exchange did the word team even slip out. Forget asking about strategy. Forget acknowledging the playmaking, the discipline, the resilience. No, let's keep poking the hornet's nest and pretend we're doing journalism. The whole thing was less of a press conference and more of an audition for Real Housewives of the WNBA. If this man had asked one more question about tension or intent, Caitlin might have turned into a statue just to end the interview. And that's the real joke. This isn't a one-off. This tired act plays out on loop like a broken record narrated by someone who's never dribbled a ball or watched film. Because when it comes to officiating, suddenly, radio silence. When refs miss obvious calls, when things go sideways on the court and impact the outcome in glaring ways, guess what? They vanish. No press conference.no grilling. No sweaty lights. The officials just pull a Houdini, slip into the void, and reappear at the next game like nothing ever happened.
Jealousy is real. The jealousy is real. You know, this damn dump just can't get out of its own way. Yesterday should have been a celebration in the WNBA. Celebrate our missed layups. Even though the celebration was an illusion that masked the serious problem facing this league.
You want accountability? Good luck. The players get dissected like lab frogs. But refs, they operate in an alternate universe where scrutiny is a myth and responsibility dissolves on contact. Caitlin could get hip-checked into the third row and the question wouldn't be, why wasn't that called? It would be, was she being too intense? Because nothing screams productive journalism like blaming the bruised for being in the way. It's exhausting. The officials make baffling decisions, and yet the only people forced to answer for it are the ones getting elbowed. And if Caitlin so much as side-eyes a ref, suddenly she's the problem. The league doesn't even let us peek behind the curtain. Are the refs being held accountable? Are they sitting in a room post-game with management asking, hey, why'd you let a WWE match break out in the paint? Or are they just high-fiving each other and heading to Applebee's? It has to get better. Not in a vague, wishful thinking kind of way, but in a hey, let's actually do our jobs kind of way. Because if this continues, if the officiating remains as transparent as a fogged-up mirror, the league will suffer. Not just in credibility, but in morale. The players feel it. The fans see it. The optics are awful. And trust me, optics matter when your camera crew zooms into Caitlin Clark's soul every time she blinks too fast.
Blows, okay? It was a lot going on. The Indiana Fever was able to defeat them in that game. But Sophie Cunningham said that she has gone too far. This is not the first time that people have accused Sophie Cunningham of just, doing way too much, being too physical, almost being an aggressive bully in the WNBA. And people are now calling for Caitlin Clark, as well as Sophie Cunningham, as well as Marina Mabry, and as well as JC Sheldon to get flagrant 1 fouls. I'm going to tell you in this article what exactly the WNBA is going to do to all the ladies above.
She's over it. Not in a dramatic walk off the court sort of way, but in the I've memorized this entire circus and could recite it backwards kind of way. And yet somehow, she still manages to lace her shoes, step on the court, and conduct a basketball clinic in the middle of all the nonsense. The game slows down for her. Her court vision remains pristine, even while the media is trying to paint her as the villain in a drama she didn't write. Caitlin's got that rare ability to compartmentalize chaos and extract clarity. While the narrative explodes around her like popcorn in a microwave, she's out there throwing no-look passes and splitting double teams. She processes the game like a chess master and reacts like a fighter pilot. She could be reading a thesis on rotational defense while being fouled and still find her teammate wide open on the wing. And that's the part they should be writing about. That's what's actually special. But it's hard to sell intelligence and skill when you can sell feuds and facial expressions instead. Apparently, nuance just doesn't get clicks unless it's wearing mascara and yelling at someone. It's wild, though. Even when Caitlin takes a breath, scans the court, makes the right read, finds the open player, runs the floor like a general in motion, none of it seems to get the same screen time as one split-second glare.
Fever game day, let's go. Listen, man, I know all the controversy, all types of foolishness is going on, but look, we gotta stay focused. Are we trying to win a championship or what? Are we trying to win a championship or what? If that is the case, we gotta turn the page and we have to focus on the task at hand, which is the Golden State Valkyries. We can't be worried about what happened last game. We beat that. Those were some bums. We beat them by 20, but yeah, we blew them out. The sun didn't stand a chance. The sun wasn't gonna shine that day. No chance. We gotta focus on the Golden State Valkyries and what they present.
And here's the twist. She's still not complaining. Not in words, anyway. Her game speaks louder than anything she could say. But the frustration shows. It leaks through in the way she tightens her ponytail, the way she shrugs after yet another question that ignores the scoreboard. She knows the game better than most people asking her about it. She doesn't just play it, she understands it, controls it, bends it to her will. And still, she's being asked about high school drama moments in the middle of a professional showcase. If the WNBA wants to grow, this has to change. The game deserves better. The players deserve better. Caitlin deserves better. Because what's being missed here, by a mile, is that she's not just a spark plug or a highlight machine. She's a tactician. She's dissecting defenses in real time, flipping switches mid-screen, adjusting to pressure on the fly. She's not only outplaying her opponents, she's often 2 plays ahead of them. That's what we should be talking about. That's the story. Not whatever playground narrative we've concocted out of a misinterpreted look and an echo chamber of bad takes. It's like watching someone ace the SAT and then asking if they felt salty about someone taking their pen. The scale is wildly off. The media wants petty. She's brilliant, and they don't know what to do with it.
This right here, this is it, and then this bitch just takes her out. Serena Mayhew is ass. She has 6 points. This is her biggest highlight, and this is the biggest crowd that will ever watch this woman play basketball. Oh my. Well, they ain't turned out Caitlin Clark this time. Nope.
So yes, it's a tired act. One we've all seen before. One we could lip-sync by now. Ask the wrong question. Get the predictable reaction. Write the cookie-cutter story. Meanwhile, Caitlin's doing actual work out there, navigating double teams, baiting help defense, pulling defenders out of position like she's conducting a symphony. But sure, let's ask about the vibe on the court instead. What's clear is this: the league can't afford to keep playing this game. Because eventually the players will get fed up, the fans will tune out, and the narrative will eat itself. The WNBA has lightning in a bottle with Caitlin Clark. But if all we do is reduce her to a meme-worthy eye squint, we're wasting it. She deserves the microphone only if the question is worthy of her game. Not her temper, not her tone, not her tolerance for recycled drama. Her game. Because that's the thing she keeps showing up with, even when everything else feels like background noise.